I felt very intimidated
Oh yeah,
in the
he's
kitchen.
so uncomfortable in the kitchen.
No, like the kitchen is like everything surrounds the kitchen, so when I'm in the kitchen, it's intimidating.
You just applied to the Bayit?
Yeah.
Did you just get in?
I just got in, just moved my stuff in. I'm really excited for communal food eating. Communal eating.
Do you communally eat now?
Now I don't, and so I'm gonna start doing that when I come here.
Formed by food and filled with food. My house is filled with food all the time. We make home-cooked dinners, and there's a huge pantry. I do love it. It's good for me.
Community is super good. I love it, but when you spend so much time with people, you start to like learn what you do like about them, what you don't like about them, what their flaws are. Like, you really learn what's annoying about them. Like, I like it a lot, but sometimes it's annoying to have people tell you how to cook. This one's really good.
That's not a way to check whether an avocado's ripe.
That's good.
Normally what you do is you take your fingers and you pinch the top. If you're feeling a little uncertain, then maybe you pinch the middle. This avocado, give it a try, is not ripe.
One would be surprised how much like a cooking partner does influence like one's enjoyment of the cooking process. Do you think people ever skip their Torah and then pretend like they didn't?
All the time. Probably all the time.
People are actually willing to correct others' actions is because it affects each other. Like how I live affects Jacob and how Jacob lives affects Ricky. And so we kind of have to be able to tell each other what to do.
DC, the Torah coordinator.
Oh, wow. Okay, so I've never done that, but some people feel more comfortable doing things like that.
What's wrong, Julia?
No, Julia. It seems to be something else that's bothering you as well.
What's wrong, Julia?
The combo! When the email about Torah is sent out on Sunday at like 11, let's say 11 a.m., and then the person who's in charge of compost isn't around the house for the next 2 hours, then they miss that short window of opportunity, which is why for some Torah are time sensitive.
Well, I'm supposed to take the compost out for my Torah but it only is open, the thing at the farmer's market, from 9 to 1, and I work in the morning, so I came home and it was 1:15 and I went to take the compost out.
What time
is
it now?
Gone. It's like 2 o'clock.
Oh, is this the first time that this has happened, Julia?
It's like the 50 bajillionth time this has happened.
So Ashley's taking on the role. That need to be moved.
For example, this week, like, one of our Torah jobs is washing a bunch of kitchen rags that we have, and this week no one did it. So today they were all sitting dirty, and like multiple members of the house were involved in just like throwing them into the laundry and moving them from the laundry to the dryer.
But hold on a
Bring them
second.
back up.
Was it made clear that the rags would be gathered because they only came in like 2 or 3 weeks ago?
They were already in the list because it was like linens and rags, because we did have rags before.
But
His friend got married on Sunday, and his friend also runs Yiddish farm, and so they raise geese, and so they killed the goose, and they made lots of different things. Roasted goose, they made goose cholent, they made goose soup. Wow.
Do you want to eat it?
I'm kind of curious to how it would taste, but
I can bring it down for you. It's in a large glass jar.
wow. I would have to taste them.
Okay. Okay.
Do you want goose cholent?
Cholent?
Yes.
Real cholent?
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
goose.
sure. Where is it coming from?
It's from Yiddish farm.
Yiddish farm cholent.
Jacob
Perfect.
bought it.
Tell us about the cholent and how this is an example of communal living, Julia.
Well, we don't want to waste this goose cholent.
This one, however, if you pinch the top, you feel it's a little soft. And the sides as well, you do feel a little soft. It gives.
That's the thing.
Now, what I'd like to show you today is how to cut an avocado without getting your hands dirty.
Where was it until now?
It was in my fridge.
Oh, well,
It's made of every part of the goose.
You don't tell him that.
No, it's good. We're
Gonna
economic.
I'll take it. We'll check it.
consume it. If you don't want it, you can dump it.
Going to have a lot of people over here tomorrow night, so hopefully it will be gone.
Yay!
Yeah.
First thing you do is you take this avocado and you slice it into 2 half avocados. But it was also interesting because there's a high correlation between how religious your upbringing was and how much meat you like to eat.
That's true. Suspect. That's suspect.
I think that's there's an interesting correlation.
So first of all, like that. Okay, let's start with the food. I like the name of our co-op, and I think that the food means a lot to us. For me specifically, I like sharing with other people my traditional food. Some people like it, some people probably don't, and they don't tell me that they don't. And that's really nice. I like seeing what other people can make. There's a lot of new food. Growing up, I had a very, obviously only the food that my parents made, and here I have a lot of different food and they're really good, and it's really nice. I think like specifically our weekend Friday night meals are a very good Bayit bonding time where we could get to know each other in a very, I think like getting to know someone through food is a very intimate way.
The truth is that like I'm slowly but surely starting to actually keep food from now.
What we need,
because it starts to feel wrong,
like a
probably.
table
It
of
starts to
like-
feel normal.
I think something small
After
that would
living
be
here for a
nice.
semester,
And put maybe the
I'm
steak
starting to
just
keep
on
the
there.
country laws. And then
You could sit
at the
right
beginning of
there.
the semester, I was upset because I couldn't
Just like the
stand
volume control,
Parmesan
the like
with
cable
my
would come and
spaghetti
sit on top.
bolognese. And now I wouldn't
I'm just thinking like a
Compost is a great idea, but like in a house where you like produce like 1 billion bags of compost a day, like the full freezer was full. I couldn't even carry it myself. Other people were gonna help me, and I couldn't take it out myself. And whatever, I took it there and it was so heavy, and then there wasn't there, so I had to come back all the way. And it was such a pain in the tuchus.
So oftentimes, some of the more active members of the house will assume that others care about the house just as much as they do, and they'll like say, "Oh, well, we just have new rags," and so the person, we didn't have rags September, October, but then they suddenly have in November, so the person is supposed to clean the tablecloths and the rags, who were like, is just gonna know to clean the rags?
Wait,
Meat issue.
Jacob cannot talk about Torah because he doesn't do Torah.
Wait, hold on a second. What does Torah really mean?
Okay, maybe I'll put it in the fridge and write on it.
What should I write on it? Because you can't microwave it in an microwave.
Goose cholent.
It's kosher, but please don't microwave it in our microwave.
You can't eat it on these bowls either.
Someone who applies with certain allergies, we suddenly face the really hard ethical dilemma of making a decision on how their allergies will affect our cooking, and but also we can't really decide not to accept them simply because of their allergies, and so suddenly we are both trying to make a decision about our own lives and about how we can incorporate them into our home without excluding them simply because of their allergies. That's an example of a way that we make decisions for others. When I serve vegetarian protein at dinner, I'm making the decision for the vegetarians who will be at dinner that they'll be able to eat. Or when I serve meat, I'm kind of keeping the meat lovers in mind and trying to serve something that they'll appreciate.
This semester in particular, there's a very strong divide. You have a lot of vegetarians, but you also have a lot of meat lovers.
Yeah,
so we're talking about serious meat lovers, like people who will skip dinner, come down at midnight, and eat their cold cuts with ketchup and tomato sauce.
That is so true.
Put out whatever you feel is okay. Cooking partners is a tricky one because there's always that moment where like someone comes up to you and is like, "Hey, do you want to cook with me?" And either you really want to or you don't want to cook with this person, and then that goes into you don't want to make the other person feel bad.
But oftentimes it's uncomfortable because if you don't want to kind of like blame your fellow housemate who you're gonna like eat breakfast with, for instance.
No, you do. You have to.
So I'm allergic to peanuts. I was not hiding it. I didn't put it on the list in the beginning of the semester. I have no fucking clue why, but I didn't. The first time that something basically happened is that there was peanuts in one of the food, and I have a pretty strong sense. And the second it was a cake, I think, a dessert or something like that. I just gave a bite, and I was right away freaking out.
It's a socialist utopia of mini dictators.
That's
Everybody cares about their things, so some people will be like really upset about not putting your food in a plastic bag. And they'll just, if you cook rice for everybody and you have the pan with the rice in it, some people just leave the pan and the rice in the refrigerator. I'm cool with that. Some people are like, no, you have to scrape the rice out, put it in a little bag and label it instead of leaving the pan.
So that the pan can later be used.
Among other reasons. So some people really take that as their cause celebre. Other people, it's avocado. The next thing to do is to slice down the middle. Then slice down the sides in such a manner.
It's sort of another challenge within the house, besides living with everyone, is also learning how to create something with another person who you may not naturally be drawn to creating in this case a meal with.
I don't want to be West Side shopper because I'm embarrassed to go with the big cart to West Side unless I get over that for right now. But I do think that
you have to give some context. It's a granny cart?
It's a granny cart because you have to take a lot of produce from West Side to buy it.
And it looks like your grandma when you,
It
or
looks
grandpa.
like likely your grandma.
Yeah.
Gender was still a thing back then.
So I think a big part about communal living is the way that we make decisions for other people, and that very often we face our own ethical decisions and then find that we are making decisions about the way that others live their lives, the things that others will eat for dinner, the apples that one will pack for lunch.
But people who choose apples, unfortunately, in this house don't really know what type to get. They don't know the correct firmness. And sometimes I struggle to find a good apple in the fridge.
That's me. I buy the
Are
apple.
you serious?
What?
You said to her face?
Yeah.
What?
What you're eating?
This is pasta with cheese, egg, mushrooms, sour sauce, pepper, and olive oil.
This is a real novel item.
You should give me the jar back when you're done.
Oh yeah, I will leave it.
Ew.
Should I just put it here back,
Yeah.
like somewhere here? Yeah, that's what I will
once
do.
it's clean.
Yeah, okay, I will
Jake
clean
puts
it.
back.
Okay, good, thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm not gonna
The
eat it
goose
now.
that was raised in Goshen, New York.
Yiddish and Solid, that's all I need.
Thank you, Israel. We got married this week for the goose children.
Israel!
It's from a wed. It's from the Shabbat before his wedding. They had a little.
Who got married?
My friend Jacob's friend Yisrael.
Israel Bath?
Yeah.
When did he get married?
On Sunday.
We have to take into account the interests of the people in the house. Are there a lot of vegetarians? Are there people who are lactose intolerant? Are there people who can't eat gluten? Those are all things we've dealt with. And then also manage the cost, because meat can be more expensive, but maybe sometimes meat is also cheaper, and it really depends. And if you're not making meat, you're making fish, and fish is more expensive in our house.
And even when we admit people into the house, we have to consider the ways that the Bayit will shape their days.
Our cucumbers are not organic, because if we spent that extra money on organic produce, we would not get to buy a lot of other things. In the same way that we save money by communally buying, we could also spend additional money by communally buying, and that we buy 5 cucumbers at a time instead of 1 cucumber, so the price difference between 1 cucumber, it's whatever. There's a lot of added cost from organics. And the same thing is true.
So therefore we don't buy organic.
Yeah.
Sometimes I do.
We should
Really?
Sometimes I buy organic lettuces and then I don't tell anyone.
Because I'm moving in next semester. I found out that I got in last week. No, this week. I'm sorry. Today's Thursday. I found out on Monday, and I'm really excited to be part of this food co-op because I'm going to learn how to cook for a bunch of people, and it's going to be great. So,
What's the Bayit mean to you?
The Bayit is, among other things, a utopia of sorts. When will you have the chance to share your living experience with other people who are similar but different in certain ways, mostly similar. Right here.
What's wrong, Julia?
Are you gonna show this video to your whole class?
No.
What happened? What do you think?
What? Did you get a haircut? Or
Yeah.
Oh, there's
Thank you. What?
And it looks like your pants need to be a little skinnier. That's all.
You're wearing all the same shade.
I know, okay.
Time out.
Okay, and I was wearing this too.
A big like chalkboard or whiteboard out there or something. It could be like really fun, like, you know, welcome to Bayit on Shabbos or something like that. Where you
If we want to make the room feel bigger, we can have a mirror.
We should have like a studio, rent out the space, and teach dance lessons in here.
French singer.
Yeah? Is it, I think it's yeah.
So if they're not ripe and you cut open an avocado, you're not only wasting the house's money, but you are also just
wasting the avocado.
Wasting the avocado. You're simply wasting the avocado.